Hey everybody, welcome back to a new video. Today I'll be talking about how tourism affected Venice. This can be used as an IBDP geography, leisure, sport, and tourism case study, but if you're genuinely curious about how tourism affected Venice, then you could also watch this video. Okay, let's get started. So first, it's really good to know this word right here, which is urban hotspot. So in the context of tourism, an urban hotspot refers to a highly popular and vibrant area within a city or urban environment that attracts a significant number of tourists. These hotspots often feature diverse attractions such as historical landmarks, cultural sites, entertainment venues, shopping districts, and culinary experiences. They are characterized by a high concentration of visitor activities and amenities, making them focal points for tourism within a city. So, the booze, the bad things that has happened to Venice because of tourism. So, it's really overwhelming. So, the impacts of tourism on Venice, including the loss of loss of local services, and the overwhelming presence of tourists, causes concerns for the future of the city and its residents. So, to list up a few boos. So the first one is the impact of tourism in Venice is causing locals to lose access to essential services and affordable housing. So locals are having to share flats due to properties being rented out to tourists. So an example of this is basically Airbnb. Like you see all those super nice, authentic apartments. Yeah, finger quotes. Like authentic apartments you see in Venice that are on Airbnb. They're getting taken away by the residents. And local shops and services have been transformed into tourist-oriented businesses. So locals might have a harder time purchasing items since, they would purposefully make things more expensive. And again, the impact of tourism in Venice is a double-edged sword, which means attack on both sides. And tourism brings in money, but also leads to overcrowding and annoyance, noise pollution, yada. The list goes on. And you could see from these pictures that it's absolutely insane. So there's environmental costs as well. There's social costs, and there's just so many people that it's such a beautiful city, but I'm not sure if I could enjoy it if there's this many people. Anyways, about 3.2 million people stayed overnight in Venice in 2022, but about 30 million people visit each year, with most coming for a day. So usually, they kind of banned those big cruises that would dock at the ship area, dock at the dock. But usually when the cruises came, there's sometimes a European tour cruise kind of thing, and they would stop at Venice, but they would only stop for a day. So people would just, hang out for a day and just leave. So they're not staying over or anything. And these kind of day trippers cause a lot of problems. And to talk more about tourism, this is 2022 statistics, but 2022, there was still low-key kind of a little bit of COVID, but, it was already done with. So after a significant drop during the pandemic, tourist arrivals in Venice have been steadily increasing. In 2022, the city welcomed over 4.5 million tourists, surpassing pre-pandemic levels. And I'm assuming 2023 is larger, I guess, in the number of tourists. Okay, and let's talk about the issues surrounding carrying capacity of Venice. So Venice has a population of around 50,000. I'm pretty sure it's not 50,000 anymore. It's probably 48,000. And the influx of tourists can sometimes be overwhelming. So during peak tourist seasons, I'm assuming it's summer, fall-ish, the number of visitors can exceed the number of residents, which is insane, leading to overcrowding, long lines, and a strain on the city's infrastructure. So the optimum number of visitors to Venice per day is equal to 52,000 111 people. And I believe that post World War II, Venice had a population of 175,000, but it's decreased by a hefty sum since then. And, because of this carrying capacity issue, there's been, overcrowding and infrastructure strain, right? Long lines, strain on cities' infrastructure. I cannot imagine what the bridge is feeling right here. And environmental impact, of course, the large cruise ships, like Venice is like a really fragile environment, because it's like just basically like an massive like island with like houses, and it's like really close to the water and whatnot. So cruise ships can cause a lot of problems. I don't know if you've seen a story about a cruise ship like hitting the dock in Venice and like injuring people. Stuff like that happens. So they eventually banned it. And of course you gotta account for the noise pollution as well. Not only environmental pollution, but there's actually noise pollution, which, not good for the residents. And deterioration of cultural heritage. So, the overuse of public spaces, vandalism, and the commodification of the city's traditions, threaten the authenticity and the integrity of its historical and artistic treasures. Because to many, I'm not categorizing Venice in this way, but to many people, the city, like Venice, is perceived as a living museum. So, you can see how, their culture can be commodified. Okay, and let's talk about the location. Like, there's potential, So, the unique structure of Venice has a significant impact on its carrying capacity. So Venice is built on a series of islands interconnected by canals with no roads for vehicle transportation. So like no cars. And this structural layout directly influences various aspects of the city's carrying capacity. So I've been to Venice before, but there are no cars from what I remember. It was like years ago. And I used to like go around with a ship. Okay. So yeah, this is what Venice looks like. Very beautiful. You can see the really nice S-shaped canal. Not canal, like canal, I think. Okay. So again, so the structural layout, so the physical space constraints. So Venice's limited land area constrains its capacity to accommodate residents, businesses, and tourists. The city's land is finite, which limits its ability to expand horizontally. As a result, there's pressure on available space, affecting housing, infrastructure, and public services. And infrastructure challenges. So the absence of traditional roads poses challenges for transportation, waste management, and utilities. So Venice relies heavily on its intricate networks of canals for movement, which can become congested, like heavily congested, particularly during peak tourist seasons. And of course, there's environmental vulnerability, like Venice's location in a lagoon makes it susceptible to flooding and erosion, further limiting its carrying capacity. So rising sea levels, because, climate change, and periodic high tides pose ongoing threats to the city's infrastructure and habitability. So, you've seen some news, I believe, that some houses got flooded in Venice as well. Like, it's sinking. Venice is sinking. So, yeah. Managing these environmental risks adds complexity to the urban planning and resource allocation and whatnot. And again, there's also tourism pressures. Venice attracts millions of tourists each year, right? That's what I said. Far surpassing its residential population. The influx of visitors places additional strain on its city's resources, including water, sanitation, and cultural heritage sites, and heritage preservation. So Venice's historical significance as a UNESCO World Heritage Site necessitates conservation efforts that may limit modern development. Yes. Okay, so I've said UNESCO like a few times. So what is UNESCO? It's not super important to the Leisure, Sport, and Tourism unit, but it's really good to know because it's really interesting. So UNESCO, so it's the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. So their purpose, why did I say it like that? Their purpose, UNESCO's mission is to contribute to the building of a culture of peace, the eradication of poverty, sustainable development, and intercultural dialogue through education and the sciences, culture, communication, and information. So it's basically a specialized agency of the United Nations with the aim of promoting world peace and security through international cooperation in education, arts, sciences, and culture. Yeah, it's basically just that. And UNESCO also seeks to encourage the identification, protection, and preservation of cultural and natural heritage around the world considered to be of outstanding value to humanity. So people, I'm not sure who gets to nominate. Like, they get to nominate places in the world, and it gets chosen by UNESCO if it's a World Heritage Site thing. So to be included on the World Heritage list, sites must be outstanding, be of outstanding universal value, as I said before, and meet at least one of the 10 selection criteria things. So once a site has been nominated and evaluated, it is up to the Intergovernmental World Heritage Committee. Oh, why did I say I didn't know earlier? To make the final decision on its inscription. Yes. And these are all the heritage sites. There's a lot. I would like to visit a lot of them, but it seems kind of hard. Okay. And, if you don't know what it looks like, if you don't know examples, these are some examples of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. I'm very confused to why. I just searched up UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and this is the first thing that came up. The sample Google thing. I don't understand why the Great Barrier Reef is just a road and the Pyramids of Giza is an ocean. It's really confusing. Well, anyways, moving on. Okay, so because Venice is suffering from so much from pressures from tourism and whatnot, they started a Enjoy, Respect, Venezia campaign. So Venice is the only city of its type in the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site representing a cultural and natural asset of exceptional value, demanding its preservation and transmission to future generations. So they're trying to advocate sustainable tourism, so not altering the natural and artistic environment and not obstructing the development of other social and economic activities in harmony with the daily life of residents is necessary to preserve the extraordinary beauty and uniqueness of Venice. Again, with the Enjoy, Respect, Venezia is the City of Venice's awareness campaign launched during the International Year of Tourism, Sustainable Tourism for Development, and designed to direct visitors towards the adoption of responsible and respectful behavior towards the environment, landscape, artistic beauties, and identity of Venice and its inhabitants. So let's discuss a 10 marker. So referring to one example, discuss the strategies that may be used to manage the carrying capacity of a popular tourist attraction in an urban area. Yes, Venice is an urban area. Okay, so here are strategies. I'm going to say some strategies that are actually happening, but you can also suggest your own. So what's actually happening? What are they doing? So from June 2024, this is really new, crisp information. This article was published 2 months ago. Okay, groups visiting the Italian canal city will be limited to 25 people, or roughly half the capacity of a tourist bus. The city announced this weekend. Sorry, this was published February, I think. The use of loudspeakers, popular among tour groups, but which can generate confusion and disturbances, will be banned in the city and on nearby islands. So no more noise pollution. That's great for the residents there. And another strategy is to avoid being put on the danger list, danger list as in the heritage. The city has moved to reduce the impact of tourism. So first it limited the arrival of large cruise ships through the Giudecca Canal, and the cruise ships, which once dropped off thousands of visitors a day have now been rerouted to an industrial port. Yes, I think it's better that way. And another one they are doing is day visitors. So people that just come during the day and just leave and don't have the heart to stay will be charged €5, so like 4.3 pounds, to enter the city's historic center in an attempt to reduce tourist numbers. So a 30-day trial of the entrance fee will be spread across public holidays and weekends in the spring and summer, and residents, commuters, students, and children under the age of 14 will be exempt, as will tourists who stay in the city overnight. And here are some rules that this campaign constructed. So there's 12 good rules for the responsible visitor. Handbook sharing tips and advice, aware and respectful traveler towards Venice's landscape. So discover the hidden treasures of Venice. So they want you to go to least visited places. Look, it's highlighted in like bold, least visited places, and explore the islands in the lagoon and mainland Venice, and taste local products. So they're promoting, local producers, and choose original products. Again, promoting domestic producers. Qualified tourist guides. Do not even lead bikes by hand. And there's so many more. Okay. And another thing they designed is this thing called D-Tourism, which I think is really smart. So the D-Tourism campaign run by the tourism department of the city of Venice promotes slow and sustainable tourism, encouraging travelers to go beyond the usual tourist sites, stumble upon unique experiences, and see Venice with new eyes. I think this is really smart. Okay. And here's some other ones that I've listed and I thought of. This is a suggestion. I'm not sure if they're doing some of these, but I don't know about the rest. But yeah, you can talk about these as well. And yeah, I was going to add more thoughts, but this video is way too long to add more thoughts. So I'm just going to cut it here. Okay, thank you for watching.